Yo, what's happening, YouTube family? It's your boy DONCOOZIE back at you with another hot TikTok reaction video. Today we're gonna react to some creepy and bizarre TikToks. I'm talking about the kind that's gonna have you questioning everything. With that said, if you like the videos, you're new to the channel, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you be notified whenever I drop some new hot content. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. That's for sure. One more thing. Don't believe everything that you hear and see in these videos. Don't believe everything that I say in these videos. Always use your discernment. Always do your own research. Let's get right to it.
Said that this is the best UFO video that has ever been released to the public, but there are a lot more questions than there are answers.
Who are they? Where are they from? And what is their intent?
All questions that immediately come to mind with the mention of UFOs.
We are now at a tipping point. It is time to let the public know what is known. No matter how big or small, what is known about the UFO presence on planet Earth.
LA-based investigative filmmaker Jeremy Corbell recently released this video taken by the Navy showing what he describes as pyramid-shaped UFOs flying over the USS Russell off the San Diego coast in July of 2019.
UFOs are real. They're flying with impunity within our restricted airspace. They represent an advanced and sophisticated technology. And it's a technology that requires scientific scrutiny and study.
The Pentagon has since confirmed that the video is authentic. It's part of a recent data dump by Corbell and investigative reporter George Knapp.
You know what I always say when they put it in the cartoons, movies, and TV shows. Question everything and don't fall for the boo-boo, man. This is not a coincidence. Let me know what you think. Does it have something to do with the water? They tell us that the waters around the world have portals in them. Are they trying to tell us what we are really, capable of doing with these portals and in this type of technology? Let me know down below in the comment section.
Anything that you've seen in Star Trek and can imagine, we've done at the Lockheed Skunk Works. Had technologies that could, quote, take E.T. home. He also stated there were no private conversations anywhere on the Earth, no matter what your encryption is. He was never read in on the UFO or UAP issue. He was shown a bunch of these conventional propulsion systems. He was not shown the ones that are the man-made UFOs, that are the electrogravitics, the things that float, boom, 100,000 miles per hour.
Because if what he's saying is accurate, it changes everything. Now, if you read the manifesto, he talks about gravitic propulsion systems. What is that? It's not your average stealth fighter or next-gen drone. We're talking about aircraft that allegedly manipulate gravity. It manipulates it to achieve flight. It's a concept that defies all current physics, but it's not without precedent in speculative science. Now, what this means is no combustion engine, no jet fuel, no sound barrier, just seamless, silent motion at unimaginable speeds. The kind of technology that makes radar, heat signatures, and even conventional missile defense systems completely obsolete. Now, I know this sounds crazy, but there was a very little-known announcement that happened over the weekend that no one is talking about.
No, ain't that strange?
But I think more than likely that a lot of what we're seeing, a lot of these people are seeing, is some sort of top secret probe with some sort of super sophisticated propulsion system that doesn't rely on a combustion engine. Some completely new style of propulsion system that they've been working on. They've been working on gravity propulsion systems since the 1950s. The possibility that someone has come up with something in a drone form that they can pilot like that makes the most sense to me, because they keep spotting these things in areas where the military practices. They keep spotting these things off the coast of San Diego, off the East Coast, where they have these restricted areas. That's where they're seeing these things. Like, it just makes sense that that would be where they would practice these things.
Old Joe Rogan. Let me know what you know about gravitic propulsion systems down below. Have you ever even heard of the word gravitic propulsion systems before today, or before the Tesla type Cybertruck bombing or attack in Vegas?
Cover.
With no pilot to compromise performance, even more unusual craft and propulsion systems have been designed and tested. This incredible machine was originally designed to shoot down nuclear missiles and satellites.
Yeah.
Just 12 inches long, gyroscopically balanced, and with thrusters at key points around its body, it is capable of instant changes of direction.
Cover. Cover tracking. Cover. Roll. Woo! All right.
No airplane could ever catch this machine.
Emerging through the changes and mergers was the lightweight exoatmospheric projectile, or LEAP program.
Terrier LEAP was developed as a demonstration phase only.
At the end of 1990, another hover test was successfully conducted. Here, the vehicle, with all its controls and lethality, is tiny compared to the first test vehicle. This miniaturization reduces the cost of boosting into space and makes a brilliant pebble truly a pebble and much more difficult to find. One of the most significant SDI tests to date was the full duration flight test of a space-based interceptor soon to become brilliant pebbles. This hover test brought together all the elements of acquisition, tracking, control, and independent operation. This vehicle is tracking a heat source similar to a boosting rocket on the other side of the wall. It is operating totally on its own. One of the most exciting moments is when the system handed off the plume to the missile hard body for final lethal interception.
3, 2, 1.
Ask yourself one question, man. Where did they get the technology? How did they figure this out like this? Where did they even get the idea of even trying to create something like this? Or was it just on accident? Me personally, I don't think it was an accident. I think they got this technology from somebody or something. That's a hell of a machine.
Gravitic propulsion controls gravity for silent, super fast travel. The US and China alone are rumored to have it, keeping it top secret. This technology might change our world or become a terrifying weapon. Retired Intel officer Sam Shumate revealed new evidence linking it to the Tesla Cybertruck explosion.
So who believed that was fake? I'm talking about the information that they released and, you know, even their agendas or maybe they just have a certain type of agenda, because some people were coming out saying that the information came out was fake and some people were saying that, nah, it was real. Even the news tried to say it was real, but aren't we the same ones that say we don't trust the news stations or the news at all in general? I mean, I'm just questioning everything. That's it. So who is to believe in this predicament, this situation? Why would they say that was true? Maybe they were telling the truth because they didn't want to get caught up by the FBI. I don't know, but Just chunk a little something out there to make your mind wander. That's it.
And now we get into the really cool stuff. Look at the dates. 1919, Papkowski-Frost experiment, where they actually had high-frequency systems where things levitated, defying gravity. And then T. Townsend Brown, and he had very high-voltage systems, electrogravitic, they call it, where high voltage would cause this lift effect and would actually create, if you will, a bubble, an electromagnetic field that would allow an object to move at enormous speeds and free of the forces of gravity, what's called gravity control.
An Office of Naval Research report on T. Townsend Brown's electrogravity device includes a transcript of a conversation between Major General V.E. Bertrandius and Lieutenant General H.A. Craig. Bertrandius remarks, "It sounds terribly screwy, but Friday I went down to a place called the Townsend Brown Foundation, and believe it or not, I saw a model of a flying saucer."
Townsend Brown was an independent experimenter, and he actually worked on, as you can see, very large replications of saucers that he believed were vital for a different type of propulsion.
The big question is, can I prove this? This I consider to be a very serious Rosetta Stone. This is Young Man magazine. The article is titled, "The G Engines Are Coming." By far the most potent source of energy is gravity. Using it as power, future aircraft will attain the speed of light. Now, in this article, they give you the names, they give you the time frame, they give you the dates, they give you the defense contractors, universities, and research centers that are actively pursuing cracking the gravity barrier. They talk about the Lear Corporation, the Sperry Rand Corporation, the Bell Aircraft Corporation, all trying desperately to crack the gravity barrier. And it's clear from the eyewitness testimony, they've done it.
Where do y'all think we originally got our flight programs from and our flight architecture or designs from? Let me know. How did they come up with the designs to build the planes the way they did? Where did they get them from? What did they resemble before that? I'm just here to make you, make your mind want to make you question. Personally, I think that's fallen angel technology. Because if we were meant to fly, we will be able to fly with wings or with just our energy. Maybe we can, we just haven't figured out yet, or maybe we forgot. I don't know. But personally, if we could fly, we wouldn't have to use machines to fly, right? Okay. I think that's fallen angel technology. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section.
This project was to back engineer the alien craft, and specifically it was to try and back engineer and see if we can duplicate the technology with available materials. Now, to do this, they split the project into many different pieces for several reasons. They do this on all classified projects, so nobody has the complete story. Now, we had the power and propulsion system. So what the briefings they gave me were like a 1 or 2 page overview of some of the other projects that were going on. I think this is a problem that they've had for a long time. And, I was replacing somebody that Barry worked with prior to me. And I think there was some horrific accident that I didn't have a whole lot of information on, but, Barry alluded to that. It was exciting. I mean, this was, now I knew we were on the absolute beyond the cutting edge of science. And I was so absolutely excited to be there every single time I was.
So there's a plate, there's this thing that looks like half a basketball, and when it's on, you can't come anywhere near it. You can't touch it.
Right.
What is gravity about that?
They knew there was a fuel source in it, and they were proficient at making it work. And again, my analogy to something like this is you can drop a motorcycle off in the wagon train days and just leave it with the keys parked outside, somebody's place. Everybody will come around it and they'll poke and prod, and eventually they'll turn the key, get it to start, and become proficient at riding it.
Yeah.
But they won't be able to understand what the hell's going on. There was some paperwork that indicated that this was from the Zeta Reticuli star system, but it wasn't just from the Zeta Reticuli star system, it was what they called ZR3, so it was a third planet in that star system. We played around with the parts long enough before I got there where they could make the reactor operate, take the fuel out, and know that it makes it work. How exactly what was going on in the reactor remained a mystery at the time. I think we made some progress on what was going on inside. Well, we came up with a bunch of reasonably good ideas about how the reactor worked. And one of them was the base, the square base of it was essentially like a cyclotron, which is a small particle accelerator, a circular one. Particle accelerators, linear particle accelerators, are just a, long tube essentially, and they accelerate particles with high voltage and, radio frequencies till they reach high speeds. But a cyclotron does that in a small circular area. And there's this very heavy element fuel, element 115, something that wasn't on our periodic charts at the time.
But it is now.
It is now, yeah. Where the reactor sat might have been critical to how it operated, since everything operates without any interconnection, so the placement of components might be critical.
Oh, Bob, how many people still think that he is lying? How many people think that he's been telling the truth the whole time? I believe some things he may know about and probably was telling the truth, but a lot of other things I don't really believe it, because I believe he's a global guy. I don't think he's a flat earther. I think he's a global guy by what he was telling us about them being from different star systems, unless he knows that it's the firmament, in the stars, and in the firmament. I don't know, but hey, that's just a little something to make your mind wonder. That's it. Make you question everything. Let me know what you think.
Frictionless craft. It's a field propulsion craft. And what it does is it creates a distortion in space and time in front of it, where space actually bends. It's just technology that doesn't exist yet. I mean, you're talking about science doesn't even know what gravity is, much less how to produce it or control it. And here is a device that's producing it and controlling it. Put a bowling ball in the middle of your bed, and then a foot in front of it, take your fist and push down on the mattress. Bowling ball will roll towards it. And that's exactly how the craft works. It creates a distortion right in front of it, and the craft falls forward.
So there's a different physics that we're not...
Well, the science that explains how the technology works. I mean, it's all encompassed as one thing, alien technology and science.
What's the message of your story?
The big thing is the suppression of extremely advanced technology and the suppression of unknown science. That's it.
In what may be one of the most revealing interviews of our time, nuclear physicist Bob Lazar speaks candidly about his top secret work at the government's saucer research facility known as Area S4. In 1989, he was hired by the military to back engineer the propulsion system of an extraterrestrial craft.
Obviously, the ET craft do exist. Something had to build them, so there must be aliens. And since there are, and the craft are there must be some sort of factory and an entire civilization somewhere. And if in fact that is true, and it apparently is, then there must be others.
Contact cases are by far the rarest type of UFO sighting. In these instances, a ship or a number of ships are repeatedly sighted by a single witness over an extended period of time. Over the last several years, a Miami resident named Adrienne had what is now considered one of the best documented contact cases in history. At first, the sightings began occurring at some distance from his home, but it wasn't long before the craft began appearing over his backyard. This amazing video footage shows a glowing disc approximately 9 feet in diameter hovering just feet from his house. In a blink of an eye, the craft disappears. Once the footage is slowed down, we can clearly see the craft dematerialize frame by frame. Adrienne's contact case took place over a period of several years and was never reported to the authorities for fear of ridicule and reprisals. Among the numerous hours of footage taken, this sighting remains one of the most dramatic. It began at 10:03 p.m. on October the 20th, 1995, and took place over a 50-minute period. The encounter ended with Adrienne following the craft at high speeds down the freeway. Here we see the craft minutes after the sighting begins. This extraordinary footage has never been broadcast and is being shown here for the first time. Clearly, we can see the craft hovering silently over the homes below. These large crafts are commonly referred to as beam ships, or in some cases, motherships. They gained their reputation by their reported immense size and softly glowing light emitted by the craft's operation. Approximately 38 minutes into the sighting, the ship began hovering away from his house. He followed the craft in his car and stopped along the freeway to film it hovering near an apartment complex. Minutes later, the craft flew directly over Miami's International Airport, where it hovered momentarily. The ship then flew into a residential area and accelerated out of sight. As the craft emerged from a wooded field, he was able to continue videotaping, but it wasn't long before it began accelerating again. While pacing it at over 50 miles an hour, it flew off out of sight. This slow-motion enhancement clearly shows the craft as it's speeding along the shoreline. To this day, Adrienne maintains he is still experiencing the reoccurring sightings. Since then, they have frequently appeared in UFO sighting reports. This cigar-shaped craft was filmed hovering in Rhode Island in 1967. A similar elongated UFO was videotaped in 1980 in the skies over Hagen, Germany. These pictures of a cigar-shaped UFO were taken in California. This UFO was photographed in Earth's orbit. Crowds gathered in Krasnodar, Russia, to marvel at this luminous cigar-shaped UFO. This dramatic footage was later broadcast on Soviet television.
The evidence is overwhelming. No single program in history has ever amassed such a compelling collection of footage. We'll use computer analysis, optical enhancement, and expert testimony to help bring the truth to light. But first, when did these sightings begin? The evidence suggests that mankind has been visited since the dawn of time. Recently, researchers point to one undeniable event that sparked the largest wave of sightings in history: the detonation of the atomic bomb. Unknowingly, we had sent an invitation to the universe, establishing ourselves as an advanced civilization.
The Air Force has officially analyzed the motives of possible visitors from space. Here is a direct quotation from the official report. Such a civilization might observe that on Earth we now have atomic bombs. We should therefore expect at this time above all to behold such visitation.
As early as 1947, alien craft began responding to our open invitation by arriving in large numbers. If advanced civilizations wanted to monitor our nuclear technology, New Mexico was the place to be. Because of its remote location, New Mexico was the site of the military's atomic research and testing. Post-war missile tests were conducted at White Salmon when Mac Brazel, a rancher who lived just outside of Roswell, was startled that evening by a loud explosion outside. The following day, while checking on a remote water pump on his ranch, Mac made an astounding discovery. Spread over an area 100 yards wide and 3/4 of an alien craft for scientific study. The Roswell incident caught the military off guard. Faced with the fear of widespread public panic, the government began the largest covert operation in history. Their objective was twofold. First, research the alien visitors and their craft, and second, divert the public's attention away from the subject of UFOs in detail, and were treated as an issue of national security. At the end of MJ-12's preliminary investigation, General Nathan F. Twining issued a top-secret memo relating their findings. The memo stated that, quote, "The phenomenon is something real and not visionary or fictitious. There are objects probably approximating the shape of a disk, of such appreciable size as to appear to be as large as man-made aircraft, yet circular or elliptical in shape, flat on the bottom and domed on the top. and making no associated sound. In his report, the general described the alien craft as capable of extreme maneuverability and very evasive when sighted or contacted by friendly aircraft. By the early 1950s, the public was fully aware of the growing UFO phenomenon. As the number of sightings increased, the government began more research.
That's not a coincidence. We know that for sure. Let me know what you think about that down below. This is a strange world we living in. Real strange. Y'all think all those was part of Project BB, or do y'all think it was the real deal? Let me know.
I got a buddy who's worth $1 trillion. Let's just put it that way. I won't say his name or anything. And literally, he has built his whole house. There's a lab in his house. He literally has the best scientists in the world in there trying to figure out how to make him live to 150. Because guess what? When you have $1 trillion, you don't want to. You want to live forever. And he's trying to make it happen.
Okay.
Please tell me that you just heard what the big guy just announced. He just announced $500 billion with all the AI oligarch to Project Stargate. This while all the planetary bodies are aligning as we speak for tonight over the next few weeks. Do you know what a Stargate is? Do you really know? It's about to get real. Another egg UAP was just leaked on 4chan, and they're finding Egyptian hieroglyphics in this egg. It gets stranger. I asked AI hypothetically, how could we open up a Stargate? You know how all the whistleblowers are constantly talking about how these UAPs spend a lot of time over nuclear reactors? Unleashing immense energy, perhaps from a controlled fusion reaction. Very interesting. Let's keep going. Advanced particle accelerators. Perhaps a massive, powerful particle accelerator could generate conditions that allow for a brief glimpse in a higher dimension. That is so familiar. You wanna know why? You know the biggest particle accelerator we have right now? You know the name, right? And it's put right over the Temple of Apollo. You know the Temple of Apollo was chosen because it's on a ley line, and that ley line makes it easier for them to kind of hack into higher dimensions? This right here is right off of OpenAI's website. You know how one of their ex-employees passed away recently? And there's this whole big controversy over what happened? I really do wonder what happened. I mean, $500 billion into this project while this right here is going on, and at the same time they're having breakthroughs with the James Webb Space Telescope, with all these different orbs, all this new crazy stuff popping up, especially those crazy UAPs over the Gulf. Where the crazy weather's coming from? Is it possible we've already opened the door to other dimensions? Well, you do remember the night of the swearing in, we saw this in the sky, which looked like an egg with the serpent wrapping around, being the cosmic egg, which Aleister Crowley was told about by Lamb, the demon buddy he summoned. And I made that video that when this egg is open, then everything is going to drastically change. And whether this is real or fake doesn't matter, because we've been seeing this in the sky everywhere. The merit of this specific video is irrelevant. Like, come on you guys, if that spaceship broke in space, it'd all fall to the ground and not horizontal to the ground. It would not stay bright the way it did. The amount of spiritual things caught in the sky is just unreal. We are on the precipice of something massive like we have never ever seen before. Please tell me y'all are starting to understand everything lining up with itself. You know things are about to get so real when all this money is being funneled while all these things happen coincidentally at the same exact time. Wake up.
Man, oh man, 2025 is already hopped off with a boom. So I can already imagine how it's going to go for the rest of the year. It's going to be one thing after another, after another, after another. It seems like time is just moving faster and faster and faster, while we are just like trying to wake up and, you know what I'm saying, I ain't going to say get used to it, but understand and figure out what's really going on around us. Some of us are, some of us not, but none of us will totally figure out everything. But like, it's like, man, let me get a break to figure out and, like, you know, kind of adjust to what just happened to us, like the other day or the day before that or last week or a month before that. You know what I'm saying? It's like you never gonna catch a break. You know, it's like you gonna either be prepared and evolve to what's going on into this new, I want to say, timeline shift, pole shift, parallel universe shift or whatever's going on. Like, or you just ain't gonna make it at this point, because it's just like getting worse and worse and worse. Y'all, that's the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about it. Let me know if y'all liked it. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe if you liked it. If you hit that like button. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button, man. It's all right, man. It's all right to agree to disagree. For sure, family. I hope y'all out there doing good, especially the ones that are out there in the cold weather. Hope y'all staying warm somewhere. Anybody that's NC and South Carolina, North Carolina, man, hey, y'all, we keeping y'all in our prayers, man. Everybody else, y'all, keep your heads up, especially people that's maybe in LA or California, you know what I'm saying, where that area have loved ones that around the area. Y'all keep your heads up, stay prayed up. Yeah, y'all catch me in the next video. It's your boy DONCOOZIE. I'm out. Holla.